Aristophanes wrote Lysistrata in 411 BC. The play's purpose is chiefly to entertain and amuse audiences. Although the play is superficially a comedy, it also considers profound philosophical themes. Aristophanes explores gender roles, war, power, and corruption throughout the play. In ancient Greece, women were expected to remain at home and care for the household, cook meals, rear children, wash clothes, etc. In the play, Aristophanes demonstrates the capacity of women to more effectively rule the state than men. Aristophanes portrays men as ardent supporters of war and ruin. The women, on the other hand, are the ones responsible for ending the irrational violence. But women are not immune from Aristophanes' satire. He accuses both genders as possessing a crippling dependence upon sex. In the beginning of the play, Lysistrata laments that the women would have hastened to her house if she had invited them to an orgy instead of a solemn discussion relating to the war. In another instance, after seizing the Acropolis, some of the women attempt to sneak away unnoticed so that they can fornicate with their husbands. Men are equally impotent against the flame of lust. At the end of the play, most of the male citizens have an intense erection, and they are willing to do anything to come to terms of peace so that they can fornicate with their women. The transposition of traditional gender roles also evinces ideas relating to power. Though the ancient Greek society is designated a patriarchy, women still possess power. And if that power is united under a common cause, then the women can overrule the sovereign sway of men. When I read this play, I was reminded of a passage written by Charles Darwin. Darwin examined a colony of ants consisting of a master race and a slave race. Some centuries ago, the master race conquered and enslaved the slave race. However, during the subsequent years, the master race of ants became dependent upon the slave race for food and transportation, to such an extent that the master race lost the ability to feed themselves, and even the ability to walk unassisted by the slave race. In this type of society, the master race no longer holds power over the slaves. The question becomes, why do the slaves continue to serve the masters? A plausible answer is that both the master and slave races have developed a dependency upon one another, just as men and women are dependent upon one another to satisfy their quote-unquote crippling desire for sex. During one of the dialogues between Lysistrata and the magistrate, Lysistrata asserts that money is the cause of war and all our troubles. She declares that women can more effectively manage the state, and she asserts that if women were elected to govern the state's affairs, then they would eventually mix everyone together in a box like yarn. In other words, the women would make everyone equal. Lysistrata's proposed society is a revolutionary vision of the future, in which women and men are regarded as equals in government.